Elevator to the Moon. Everything about this title shouldn't work. It's a very strange concept about a guy taking an elevator to the moon. And it's a VR game that isn't in VR. But strangely, it sort of works. Unlike another game I reviewed recently named Among the Sleep, where they had gameplay laid out like a VR game, but it failed in making the game fun to play, this one works because everything is basically in a very small area, and that gives it more leeway for somewhat clunky controls. Like I mentioned, you play as a pilot of a new elevator which will take you to the moon. I don't know if it's all connected with ropes or rockets, it was just never very clear. In fact, a lot of the story was confusing. That's mainly because instead of clarifying plot points, the game would rather just make jokes. But in the end, it's just a setup for an escape room, point-and-click adventure game. But it's more of an escape room you don't actually try to escape. You just use the objects around you to repair or mess with the area. Now, the game is broken down into 4 chapters. It's not a particularly hard game, as it gives you plenty of time to figure out what to do. Plus, there are hints to help you. It only showed you a photo with some writing, so it's not going to be a hint that tells you exactly what to do, just more of a general nudge. It will take you about 2 hours to beat it. There is some replayability in finding all the objects in the chapters and interacting with the environments, but since I would have to imagine it'd be more fun doing it in VR, it's not really something worth replaying. Now, the story was actually kind of interesting until it went totally off the rails in the last chapter. Everything leading up to this thing was kind of had a fun feel to it, and nothing ever felt tedious until that last chapter, when it gets really dull during an extended part. Now, the controls were a mixed bag. When the game starts up, it says that the best way to play this is with a Joy-Con in each hand, and I found that unplayable. Sure, you could use the fake pointing functions of the Joy-Cons, but the camera would go crazy with a slight turn of your hand. I used the Pro Controller and it worked just fine. That's not to say the controls were great, even with the Pro Controller. It was still a bit odd to play as the game was clearly made for VR controls. The game would change the cursor when you were over an interactive area, and that was helpful. It does get a little hectic when there's a bunch of junk just lying around, and you're looking for something that you need. I do wish it was easier to keep track of what you need, and what was there just for fun. Now, I do really wish I could have played this in VR. Unfortunately, that just isn't an option, and I doubt it will ever be. I have the VR Labo kit, and I tried it, and I liked Mario Odyssey and Captain Toad's VR experiences. I did think the Zelda one was unnecessary. This whole title is built for a fun VR experience, and to miss out on that feels like a shame. Elevator to the Moon was more enjoyable than you might expect. The enclosed area, for the most part, made the point-and-click puzzles that you have to solve more satisfying. With the exception of the final chapter of the story, the gameplay moved quickly and was very fun to play. Now, this is currently only $1, and for that price, it's totally worth it. Now, should you buy this for the normal price of $14.99? No! That is way too much for a 2-hour game. I would say spend no more than $5 if you're interested in this. However, at the price of $1, yeah, it's completely worth a buy.